Hop. Hey, what's up, ça pour un tout nouveau live sur Fortnite. Donc là, on se retrouve pour un petit event. Je voulais voir ce que c'est. Donc là, je vais découvrir avec vous ce que c'est. Donc, wesh, canapés. Salut, Pasta Box, ok. Coucou Toupi, coucou Flora, coucou Sky Alan. Est-ce que tout le monde va bien? Ouais, ça va, oui, toi, tranquille, Mathis. Il y a tout le monde qui a mis des dessins là. Hello, Yacine. Yanis, pardon. Excuse me. Ah, oh, excuse me. Tranquille, et toi? Bah, ça va, moi. En vrai, ça va nickel, hein. Et dans 48 secondes, on va savoir ce que c'est. Allô, OKLM, et toi? Bon, franchement, ça va. Après, vous pourrez me dire dans le chat qui voudra jouer avec moi sur Minecraft, tranquille. Parce que j'ai un serveur survie, je suis très bien dessus, donc. Ouais, je sais. Bon, ça fait un moment que j'ai 5000, hein. Ok, 10 secondes. N'hésitez pas à mettre des pouces bleus. Comme moi. Ok, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Ok, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ok, nice. Moi, ça va. Moi, ça va. Wow. C'est une musique, ok.
Hey everybody, I'm Carrie Champion. Welcome to We the People. So today we are having a very candid conversation with athletes and artists who want to make sure that you use your voice.
J'ai commencé à regarder tes lives, t'avais même pas mis la beau.
So we have so many different issues that have happened in this country. It's really truly unprecedented time. So I'm looking forward to these conversations.
Découvrons ensemble, hein. Si je parle plus, c'est normal.
As well as entertained, but most importantly informed. We have morethanavote.org, whenweallvote.org, and fairfight.com. Those resources are imperative as we try to change our future.
Ouais, c'est un truc de justice ou quoi?
Or even the fact that we want to talk about activism, black voter suppression, without bringing in this guy straight from Port Arthur, Texas. We are talking about Bumby. He is an activist, a scholar, and an all-around gentleman. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. Bun, I don't want to start heavy, but I guess I have to because that's where we are in the world today. It's heavy as hell. And when you think about what needs to happen in this country in terms of change, what's the first thing that you think
of? Equality. That's pretty much the first thing that comes to mind, right? Black people need to be seen as equals in this world. You know, we had to fight just to be recognized as a full citizen.
Faut pas avoir des gens qui traitent de noirs ou quoi. Faut pas être comme ça. Moi perso, moi j'ai rien entre les personnes et tout. Donc, moi j'aime les personnes autant qu'ils sont, même couleur de peau ou quoi, tu vois. Moi je m'en moque un peu.
If that's true, why do they work so hard to suppress?
Je suis pas raciste.
Because they understand the power of the vote. And so it's time that black people collectively also understand the power of their vote. And not just on a national level.
Je lis ce qui est en bas, donc c'est normal si je parle pas, ok?
People need to be very much involved in their local politics. They need to understand who their elected officials are.
N'hésitez pas à parler dans le chat, hein, je le vois de toute manière.
And you need to use your vote to either support the ones that care about.
Si les gens ils veulent jouer avec moi à Minecraft, dites-le moi ou comme ça.
Educating felons, right? So in the state of Texas, if you're a felon, right, if you've been to jail or to prison, but you're no longer on probation or parole, you have the right to register to vote. Another thing that was just brought to my attention, there's an initiative called Orange, which is happening not just in Houston, but all over the country. If you're in jail currently, during pre-trial, but you have not been
donc c'est le mec qui parle, enfin, je connais pas son nom exactement, on me dit je dis le mec mais sans être méchante. C'est un sportif à peu près, de ce que j'ai compris.
If you could do one thing with this message that we're trying to send today about how important voting is, what type of images would you like our people to understand and see when they go to these polls and vote or when they cast their ballots?
Ça va, ouais, ça va.
I think the images that we've all seen,
ouais, ça va tranquille, Victor, et Rise,
decades in this country, if not centuries in this country, we've seen black people oppressed, we've seen black people attacked. So every time you look back and you see those old black and white images of people of color being attacked by dogs and people of color being sprayed with hoses, that's what they were fighting for. Back then, they were just fighting for a chance to vote. People like Martin Luther King Jr., people like Malcolm X, these people died to help us be in a position to have the power that we have now, which is to be able to cast a vote and make a decision about the people that have controls over our lives.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you in your own community need a reason to vote, look at a person like George Floyd. If the people in your city are not open to police reform, are not open to having a conversation about defunding the police, are not open to
issues concerning
economic equality, judicial equality, and racial equality, right? If they're scared to say Black Lives Matter, you have the power to put people in those positions who do believe that Black Lives Matter, who do believe in racial equality, economic equality, judicial equality,
ouais, moi je
right?
pars en voyage, du coup c'est pour ça que je regarde ton live.
If the people in your community don't feel that way, vote them out. It's that simple. It's just vote them out. We don't have enough time to sit around and hope that people change their mind.
Donc comme je répète, c'est normal si je parle pas, mais mon épique, je sais pas si vous voyez, il est en haut de l'écran, mais ce que j'ai vu, mais attends, je vais dézoomer, t'inquiète. Ah non, vous voyez pas, vous aussi.
Why, in your opinion, was it George Floyd's death? Why was that the chosen brutality for people to say, oh my God, black people are still oppressed in this country? And it is.
Est-ce que vous aimez bien les vidéos boutiques que je fais le soir?
People of color and the police, there simply is no proof of what happened in the interaction. And so what happens is in a court of law, it tends to lean towards the policeman's point of view, right? In this case, we saw very clearly what happened. I think the other thing is due to the fact that everyone was at home, basically during this time period in relation to
c'est écrit en haut de l'écran, je vais pas l'écrire.
Right? It was on
ok, merci Flora, fait plaisir.
Every social media platform, everywhere
merci
you turn, you were constantly hit upside the head with this message. You see in the interaction that this man did nothing to deserve what happened.
Donc, je compte faire. Alors, vu que ça parle et tout, vu que vous les en entendant, je compte faire une vidéo avec Lucifer, donc un abonné. Je vais faire plein de vidéos avec des abonnés, donc en gros, je vous explique le principe en avance parce que vu que vous êtes sur mon live, en gros, il aura 3 chances pour faire top 1 avec moi. S'il fait pas top 1, il n'a pas de récompense, mais si on arrive à faire top 1 pendant les 3 games, il repart avec une récompense. Et par exemple, je vais demander un objectif de like, par exemple 50, tout ça, et après il y en aura un deuxième, et je pourrais le faire avec tous les abonnés. Tous mes abonnés. Mais bien sûr, pour que je fasse ces vidéos-là, il faut que vous rejoigniez mon Discord. Mais ça tout sera dit dans la vidéo. Et je vais essayer de la tourner demain, la vidéo. Parce que je me lève tard un peu. Du coup, ouais, j'ai vu que t'as fait la demande d'amis. Je la vois. Parce que j'ai appliqué ça sur mon téléphone, du coup.
For employment, more opportunities for upward mobility, then they tend to be a less of a strain on the government. They tend to have a lower
Salut Athèse, j'avais pas vu ton message, mais ça fait plaisir que tu sois sur mon live.
You are passionate about so many different things in terms of making sure that we are holding our leaders accountable. Talk to me about some of the other projects that you're working on.
Well, right now, obviously, being a part of More Than a Vote is essential. We're dealing with primaries in this country right now. And we just want to educate people. We want to inform people because people are tired, they're angry, they're concerned, and they want information and they want action. And so we want to make sure that we give them the right information and lead them in the right direction. And we thank the people that do not look like us for standing with us right now because it's very important that people who aren't black.
En vrai, c'est intéressant ce qu'il dit parce que c'est vraiment grave ce qui se passe aux Amériques et tout ça.
just to let people know that if they feel like I do, there's a number of places they can go to enact change in their community. People need to know about how their city council runs. They need to know that they have the ability to speak when city council meets, to let them know that that's not the way that they feel their city needs to be run. Those are not the places that they feel the money of their community needs to be allocated.
Pourquoi il y a personne qui parle? Bah parce que je sais pas. Merci pour la demande d'amis. Salut Ni Wong. La flemme.
Absolutely, and it's always been with the
Qui a Minecraft là sur le chat?
Trayvon Martin's mother, Sabrina Fulton, right? She felt that there was a system of racism and system of oppression.
Tu peux te parler sur Snap, je vais jouer là. Ok. Salut. Salut à toi.
Our own former president, 44, Barack Obama, right, started in the community as an activist, ran for an elected position, became senator, ran for another
Merci pour la demande d'amis, ça fait plaisir.
president of the United States. So don't think that you can't make a difference. You know what I'm saying? You don't need a lot of money. You don't need a lot of power.
Yo le Bambi, yo à toi. Je te demanderai un ami demain. Y'a pas de souci.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you this. When I talk to my brothers, I have to ask you, as a black man, how are you doing? Are you okay?
I'm good. I'm good. I have a very strong relationship with God, so prayer definitely works for me. I have children and grandchildren who are watching me, who are encouraged by what I do, and they're proud of me right now. You know, and that's really what matters. You know.
Ouais, mais les trucs de Artex c'est fake, donc enfin j'aime pas dire ça, mais bon, après c'est ses contenus, il sort ce qu'il veut, tu vois, mais bon, j'ai pas qu'on prend les gens pour des... Voilà. Pas dire les mots, parce que voilà.
So no one has to go about this alone if they want to do it.
Yeah, we're stronger together. People have been saying it, but that has much more meaning now that we are in our movement, not just this moment. Bambi, it has been an education, always a pleasure. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Keep fighting the good fight.
Keep up the good fight.
Yeah, la. So our next guest, I have to admit, I'm a fan, but there are so many different people that we could talk to, and I thought it was so imperative that we speak with her. You know her as Molly on the huge, successful show Insecure, HBO's Insecure. She also has a comedy special highlighting her Nigerian roots, and she's an amazing podcaster. Let's welcome in Yvonne Orji, everyone. You have such a beautiful way of making things funny, giving us our medicine with some candy, right? The humor and the healing. You bring all of that to your space. And right now, as you look across this country and how everyone is so broken and so upset, if it's not social injustice, it's the pandemic, it's depression.
C'est au racisme. Ouais, t'as raison, Victor.
How are you doing, quite frankly?
Non, non, c'est pas un mec. C'est juste quelqu'un qui dit comme ça.
I'm rediscovering self in a way that is hard, but necessary. That will lead to ultimate joy. I know it sounds like a lot, but
okay, nice. No, c'est genre comme ma sœur.
I personally think that God put all of us on a global.
Ça va, tranquille, tranquille vous.
You know, America hasn't done as good.
Franchement, merci beaucoup des 18 sur mon live, ça fait strictement plaisir. T'inquiète, t'inquiète, j'ai capté. MDR.
But I think that
je regarde le mini event parce que ça m'intéresse un peu, tu vois. Je m'intéresse un peu sur le truc. Après, si des gens, est-ce que vous avez Minecraft vous dans le chat? Dites-moi si vous avez Minecraft.
To learn me in a new way, I feel like I'm being ushered into a new season, and I'm getting still. Because sometimes the busy.
Je prends mon téléphone, je regarde les demandes d'amis parce que j'en ai beaucoup.
That we're supposed to actually be doing. You know, we're busy doing other stuff, but we got work that we need to do on the inside.
Oui, j'ai Minecraft. Bah après, au pire, je sais pas, est-ce que dans les commentaires... Merde, il n'y a pas mon Discord. Est-ce que vous voulez mon Discord, les jeunes? Comme ça, vous pourrez parler avec moi et je vous donnerai le truc survie Minecraft là où je joue actuellement.
But like, no, seriously, sit down and let's reevaluate some things. Let us unearth and shake up the things that we have been trying to hide within ourselves, within our nation.
Je copie le lien, on sait jamais si quelqu'un le veut.
Right now, a much needed,
Oui,
a much
oui.
necessary one, and I think
Ok.
all eyes on us, right?
J'ajoute personne, mais c'est les gens qui m'ajoutent. Après, je pense pas arrêter YouTube, mais peut-être que je vais faire des pauses ou des trucs comme ça. Tenez mon Discord, n'hésitez pas à rejoindre. N'hésitez pas à me parler aussi sur Discord après mon live. Et si vous voulez vraiment jouer avec moi sur Minecraft, dites-moi et tout. Je vous donnerai le lien et tout. Par contre, bien sûr, sur notre survie, on n'a pas le droit de voler. Enfin, voler. Voler dans les coffres des autres.
And so right now we're sitting with we're getting comfortable with the uncomfortable.
The minorities, we've been comfortable with being uncomfortable because that to me explains just the existence for whatever we want to do.
Bah, tu m'ajouteras au pire, c'est pas très grave. Mais t'inquiète, j'accepte tout le monde de toute façon. Quand j'aurai une belle caméra et voilà.
Everybody had to pay attention to Amy Cooper. Everyone had to pay attention to George Floyd. How is that helping us as a people, as a country during our global timeout?
I think we're not minorities, Carrie. You already know it. It's like these labels that they put on us. It's like the same way of saying like black on black violence.
Voilà, j'ai rejoint le Discord, il n'y a pas de souci. Merci beaucoup à toi de venir dans mon Discord, franchement, ça fait plaisir.
It's like, white people kill white people every single day. So no, there is no black on black violence. And if you say black on black violence,
oui,
then let's brand white on white violence. Like, I watch Investigation Discovery. Ain't too many of us.
Ouais, je peux parler sur Discord là maintenant, mais toi, je vais pas... Parce que là, en fait, il est en mute, donc du coup, je verrai pas les gens.
But to answer your question, what does that do? I think what everyone expected is what has happened in the past when the world was still open, right? In that, okay, you had everyone.
Non, je parle pas en ASMR.
From Trayvon Martin to Castillo to Sandra Bland, you had all of these lives lost, and Black people made some noise. You know, we rioted, we got out in the streets, we started the Black Lives Matter movement, all of those things. And then white people kind of just like, oh, let's give them something, and then it's just like, is it over? It's like Oscars so black. Okay, good. We gave some Oscars. Are we good now? Like, are we even? You know, and it's just like, oh no. This is not about
Streamac façon de parler parce que c'est tout était fake de A à Z et voilà. Parce que j'ai même des vidéos de lui où on rigolait ensemble, donc enfin, rigoler ensemble quand on faisait un bullfight mais en mode créatif. Il est sur ma console, donc dans les vidéos là.
Oh, this is not going no way. And no, it's not, because we need systematic change.
What a beautiful way to explore what is happening and describe our country. We might have to amputate the leg, but that's to save the body. That's what's happening right now. That's beautiful, Yvonne.
Non, je suis pas
and to
abonnée.
that end, I have to
Enfin,
ask
je
you
suis
this,
plus.
because the way that we do that, we use our voice. And our voice right now in this world, in this country, is our vote. And everyone talks about voting and how important it is, but I feel like more than ever we understand that it's not just about voting every 4 years for the man in office. It's about your local elections. It's about the mayor. It is about the district attorney, the people who have the power to bring charges against police if police brutality is an issue in your community. If you care about your school,
je m'appelle juste par ouais, ok, pas de souci. Me dit, je sais pas comment ça s'appelle, mais c'est pas grave. C'est qui la go à gauche? C'est une star qui habite en Amérique et qui parle du racisme qu'il y a en États-Unis, américains, au Texas, enfin tous les trucs comme ça. Et là, je suis qu'en deuxième, en fait, ils disent ce qu'ils en pensent de ce qui se passe en ce moment. Et vu que moi ça m'intéresse, bah, du coup, je voulais faire un live pour voir un peu ce qu'ils pensent, les stars de là-bas. Ouais, après, vous pouvez me streamac, mais ça va être compliqué. Parce qu'il m'a même dit pour le streamac que je joue mal, donc tu sais.
But I think going back to your earlier comment about just the setup of systems, I think we are done a disservice either at schools or whatever it is, and I'm not putting teachers on blast. I think teachers do a phenomenal job, but for some reason, we do not, and give them all the races. I know too many parents who are like, this child of mine, I do love them, but hey, where can I drop them off? And I do think that there is a disservice done because, again, when we talk about them, to your point, we talk about every 4 years. It's important to vote for the presidency. We don't realize, like,
mais en fait, la vidéo est fake, donc j'ai pas de copain. C'est même un de mes potes qui s'appelle Florian. Tout est fake, en fait. Genre de A à Z.
It's the systems. When we talk about voter suppression, we also talk about systematic racism, right? It's all the systems that's set up. And we've normalized, okay, maybe your job will give you a half day, or maybe, you'll be able to get this luxury. It shouldn't be a luxury. It should be built into the system. It should be built into the fabric of how we vote. But maybe you'll be able to get this luxury in order to enable you to go vote. Think about everything disenfranchised, marginalized.
Voilà, en gros, la vidéo, elle est fake. Voilà.
So in a day, you need to get to work. If something happens to your car, if something happens to your child care, if something happens to... There's so many factors along the way that can send you into a tailspin as an American. And then you add on as a person of color. If you're just trying to get to vote and you already have to go through all of these hurdles and hoops in your everyday life, imagine the one day when your voice really is supposed to matter the most in this country, but then you also see all the time.
Ok, merci d'avoir rejoint mon Discord.
Voice matter, and then it's been shut down, repressed, told it doesn't matter, and then you're kind of like, what's the point?
How do we keep hope though? If I'm watching this right now, how do we as a people stay hopeful? How do we believe in the promise that these quote unquote forefathers
Coucou,
have given us?
Ça va?
Because have you met black people? By the false. Like hope is infused in our DNA. Like you know what I'm saying? Like if we haven't been broken now through, be it through slavery, through capitalism,
Moi ça va.
Give it to me.
Colonization, through segregation, through, I mean, listen, the history of black people in this country is, at one point, we were 3/5 people. That was a written law. And look at us now. We are whole. We are black girl magic. We are black boy joy. We are, you know what I'm saying? What I think about in terms of giving us hope, right? We're making a lot of people nervous right now, Carrie. We're making a lot of people nervous right now because they're like, dang, we put all these obstacles in their way, and these jokers are resilient. But that should give us hope. That should give us hope that, like, we can't stop, won't stop. I mean, I went to the...
En fait, je m'ennuie pas parce que je lis, en fait, parce que moi, ça m'intéresse. Donc, après, je sais pas si ça vous ennuie, mais moi, tout le monde demande pour faire un live, il faut juste me poser des questions, je parle. Okay.
We can't stop thriving, and we won't stop thriving.
To that end, because you led me directly there, I've been asking everyone who's appeared on this platform, what does activism look like?
C'est parce que ça m'intéresse. En plus, c'est des stars. C'est des stars en Amérique, du coup. Je connais pas beaucoup de personnes, mais. Enfin, je les connais pas de base, mais tu vois.
Listen, activism, I think the beauty of activism is that it has many faces, right? You're going to have the people on the front lines. Like, you know what? Martin Luther King.
Mais ça me permet de parler avec vous, quoi.
Like, hey,
en entendant.
This is how we support all the people who are marching on the front
en
line.
entendant la boutique d'objets.
What we know to do best here. And you know what? Somebody needs to bail them out of jail so that we need to be in the community.
Oui, j'ai Insta, mais je le donne pas tout de suite.
So it's like everybody has a position to play, and so play your position like a shortstop, bro. So whoever you are and whatever you do, play your position. So activism could look like.
Ok, bah merci alors.
I'm not the one that's built to be on the front line, but you know what? My pockets go deep, so I'm gonna support the people on the front line. You know, I'm a comedian.
Enfin, si ça m'ennuie un peu, mais bon.
Black joy is a form of activism.
There's always a call for entertainers or celebrities.
Après celle-là, je vais peut-être arrêter le live après pour me préparer pour la boutique d'objets. Bah, faut faire la candidature sur mon Discord et voilà.
Beneath the surface of what we do, like Niecy Nash said,
toi.
it's the who, right? The who is the person who's going to be like, hey, let me call this out. Either blind racism in terms overt racism in terms of ways that we can be better, in terms of ways that we can actually be more uplifting to the community that
ça va, ouais, ça va,
you
franchement.
may not even realize that you're serving.
Before I let you
Tranquille,
go,
toi.
talk to me about the urgency, in your opinion, for people to vote, our people to get out and vote this coming election.
Yeah, I mean, guys.
Tenez mon Discord si vous voulez me parler.
Right. If you think you're tired now, I'm telling you right now, we cannot take this sitting down. We can't take this jokingly. I understand that it may be hard to figure out who to vote for, but at the end of the day, we got to vote for our families. We got to vote for our legacies. We got to vote for continued progress. We have to vote for upward mobility. We have to vote for equality in a way that is long lasting. And if we succeeded before, we can do it again. You talk about the whole this is the time. This is not the time to give up. This is not the time to pretend a way that we haven't made progress. We have. There's still much more to be done. And you know what? We might have to get to a point where we pass the baton to our children and our children's children. But we still have work to do now for that
Excuse
generation.
me.
You are everything. You are Molly, but you are not Molly. But I love you so much as Molly on HBO's Insecure. You are an amazing podcaster, Jesus and Jola. Shout out to Lovey. And then we also have movies. Like you have the world. You're
que je me dise bien, il était grand.
Also, wait, don't let me forget your hugely successful stand-up comedy special on HBO. Girl, you're doing it all. And I am so grateful. You're truly the dream, not just the American dream. You're the black girl, brown girl, do it all dream, the immigrant dream, everything. You're a beautiful, beautiful soul. I really, really mean that from the bottom of my heart. Yvonne Orgy, ladies and gentlemen, nothing but the best and excellence personified. Thank you so much.
I love you so much, Mama. Mwah.
Yeah, la la. So Atlanta has been one of the hotbeds in terms of political unrest and social injustice. We've seen so much happen in that city, and we've also seen so much come from
ouais, je suis toute seule sur la map.
One of our very own founding fathers of the
Y'a
civil rights
personne.
King Jr. But right now, we want to welcome in someone who has used his platform to talk.
Du coup, j'ai dit qu'après cette personne-là, je vais arrêter le live après. C'est un peu ennuyant, il faut que je me prépare aussi pour la boutique d'objets. Est-ce que vous voulez me poser des questions, mais les dernières questions du live?
Recently, you did an interview where you shared your outlook on culture and music, and you also were very candid about the fact that you have a privilege and that it's necessary for you to give back.
Tu as des modos? Ouais, j'ai des modos. Ah merde, c'est un truc de... Attends, je vais le faire. Je vais le faire et hop, ça me permettra... Je fais ça et ensuite je quitte le live après. Je viens de voir... Attends, j'ai pas le temps de... Oh, c'est nul. Je viens de voir ta chaîne, je m'abonne direct, tu restes éveillé pour les boutiques et tout. Bah en vrai, je reste longtemps. J'essaie de me donner au maximum pour vous montrer que je suis capable de faire des choses. Mais après, c'est vraiment compliqué d'être tout le temps resté éveillé jusqu'à 2 h du matin. Pour les boutiques, pour tous les trucs là. Franchement... Les abonnements comme ça me fait super plaisir, donc ça me permet de continuer et de voir que ça intéresse les gens. Après, comme je dis, The Raid et tout est fake, donc de A à Z. Donc voilà. Franchement, ça fait un plaisir d'avoir des messages comme ça. Salut Antoine le panda. Ça va? De quoi? Qu'est-ce qui est fake? Ben, la vidéo de Zored est totalement fake de A à Z. Pour les gens qui me connaissent de Zored. Tout ça après j'ai fait une vidéo donc je vais pas me justifier. Tranquille et toi? Tranquille en vrai. Ouais, j'ai bien ou quoi? T'as bien quoi Je t'ai vu dans l'allée dans mon romantique. Jawel. Je passais en dit comme ça, mais yo à toi.
What better time to use a platform than in front of, you know, a bunch of people. So one of the t-shirts I wore was
merci pour les 20 likes, ça fait strictement plaisir. Merci à vous. Toi la 2F, ouais, je l'ai.
And it didn't really like it kind of got swept under the rug back then. But you know, when all this stuff started happening again, and it's been happening, the police brutality against innocent black people, I was like, man, I'm not the biggest artist in the world,
cool.
And I certainly don't have the most white fans in the world, but
il a jamais été cool.
I got a good amount of people that I can definitely mobilize
fatigué, c'est pour ça que je pleure.
into some money, and I know they're down for the cause.
Oh attends, si j'arrive à me mettre là.
And I've always been outspoken anyway, you know, and so how am I going to be?
Oh, mon perso il bouge pas d'un pouce. Tu peux m'ajouter, j'accepte toutes les demandes, du coup que c'est pas moi qui ajoute. Parce que je vais pas marquer toutes 30 secondes, vous...
And things that speak to our culture right now. And we are really, really getting our word out, especially with this platform today.
Pourquoi ça me met ça?
We must use our voice to vote. Talk to me about what the importance of voting for you in this upcoming election.
Yeah, so you know, full trans.
Yep. Du coup, je retourne au salon. Dans 30 minutes, il y a la boutique d'objets. Du coup, dans 30 minutes, je vais faire la boutique. En vrai, une boutique, jusqu'à la fin des vacances que je pourrais le faire. Ensuite, dès qu'il y a les cours, je le ferai la boutique d'objets tous les week-ends. Voilà. Donc quoi? Non. Ah, elle a pas changé. Bah voilà, bah il y a le pack. Il y a le pack. Franchement, le seul truc qui est stylé, franchement, c'est... Franchement, c'est la banane, moi, tu vois. Mais moi, je vais acheter le skin Galaxy qui va être dans la boutique. Ah, c'est là comme danse. C'est une exclusive sur le PS4. Moi, tout ce que j'aime bien dans le pack, c'est vraiment la banane, tu vois, genre. Mais je vais pas acheter un pack à 19 € juste pour un skin, tu vois. Toi le bail. Donc voilà, je vais vous... Tu vas faire quoi là? Mais là je vais arrêter. Oui, trop cool. Voilà, donc c'était tout pour ce live. N'hésitez pas à vous abonner, à liker, à partager. On se retrouve dans 30 minutes ou 29 minutes pour la boutique d'objets. Ouais, donc moi c'était tout. N'hésitez pas à mettre des likes et mettre des commentaires si vous aimez les boutiques d'objets. Ça me ferait strictement plaisir de recevoir vos commentaires. Après je pense que j'ai tout dit. Merci pour le cœur, grave, merci Toupi. Donc on se retrouve dans... Je regarde l'heure, il est 32, donc dans... Je sais plus, dans 27 minutes. Enfin, 28 plutôt. Donc à tout à l'heure. Et bon visionnage à tous. Et voilà. Donc en attendant, je vais me préparer pour la vidéo. Vous inquiétez pas, c'était un troll. Je rigole. Allez, tous. Et bonnes vacances à tous, parce que je n'ai pas... je vous l'ai pas encore dit. Bye tout le monde. N'hésitez pas à vous abonner.